Mabuhay, everyone. This is Reverend Reg, and today is June 18, 2021. And I'm here again with my new friend, Kate Denning, who is the founder of Destiny Tea Room. And for those of you who watched the episode last week, congratulations. So you have a bit of an idea where our conversation flowed. But for those of you who are not yet aware about what Kate is doing and what Destiny Tea Room is doing, let me just give you all a brief background of her. Kate is the owner of the Destiny Tea Room, formerly formally known as the Rendezvous Tea Room in Wulong, Ngaba. She is an author, clairvoyant, psychic, spiritual teacher, and mentor, and has a wealth of knowledge and experience within the spiritual realm. Kate specializes in and teaches modalities including tea leaf reading, clairvoyance, palmistry, tarot and oracle readings, pendulums, meditation, manifestation, positive energy. Kate believes in the power of manifestation, positive energy, personal healing, and your thoughts become your reality. She has used these beliefs to rebuild her life after going through some traumatic life events and is now living a wonderful and fulfilled life with her fabulously supportive husband. She also enjoys her gypsy wagon, which she uses for events at people's places and expos, and has written a book on tea leaf reading with the history of the tea rooms in Brisbane and included some of her own spiritual journey in the book, The A to Z of Tea Leaf Reading by Kate Denning, which was published in March 2019. She also teaches workshops in tea leaf reading, crystal ball gazing, palmistry, and tarot while helping and supporting her students and others start their own businesses. She also hosts events at the tea room to help her students with confidence in doing their readings. Do you want to know your purpose or what's coming up in the future for you? Or maybe even you want to connect with someone who has passed over. Kate's messages comes through as feelings, thoughts, and visions passed on by her spirit guides using tarot, oracle cards, angel cards, and tea leaf reading. She can provide you with clear and accurate information, help guide and empower you, and give you inner peace. She can also help you in all areas of your life, love, relationships, career, and family. So without further ado, come on, let's just give some round of applause to my new friend Kate. Hi Kate, it's so nice to see you.
Oh, thanks so much for that. Thanks, Reg. What an
Yeah.
introduction.
Yeah. And earlier, before we went live, both of us were talking about rent payments and some spirits that are not, that are probably playing with us, and some $11 million in Bitcoin. So, with all these things happening right now, Kate, and it's funny that we talked about the rent payment and the $11 million Bitcoin because we know that the issue about the health and the money right now globally is actually affecting our day-to-day lives and even the bills payment. What can you say about it, Kate? Especially, energetic forecasts.
So, okay, I'm feeling right now with the energies, it's pretty heavy. And usually I'm pretty well not affected by what's going around. Even being sensitive and being spiritual, I usually am in a pretty good place and I'm pretty protected. My guides are usually there looking after me and making sure I get through everything okay. So I don't particularly worry too much about anything. But what's been going on these last few weeks is just huge, absolutely huge. The company that my husband works with, they got hacked, and the people from the other side of the world wanted like 11 million in Bitcoin to, give them back their computer system. And I just think we've got full-time people out there that do this for a living, ripping people off.
Yeah.
Just is beyond me. Like, I just can't comprehend it.
Yeah.
So I come into this. I can be pretty naive, and I trust most people, and until they actually prove me, like give me a reason not to trust them. And yeah, but it's just been pretty tough at the moment. I think worldwide economics. We're great here in Australia, but it still does affect us a bit too with what's going on with COVID and the energies.
Yeah.
Um, but what people will do to make money is pretty disturbing.
It
I do.
is.
I am having trouble with a few bills at the moment, and it's usually not like that either. And I usually don't worry about it because I just know that everything's going to be okay. And I play a CD every night of manifestation. Now, that's not just about money, but it's having like that abundance of a good life and abundance of love around you and gratitude. So, this particular one that I've been listening to, I do love where I live, but we'd also like to have something else as well too. And I'd either like to go to the country. We've got too much work that needs doing here, and we just can't do it. When I got sick back in 2010, we
Mhm.
bought this place just before, so we haven't done the renovations. Things have been pulled apart. We've got no ceiling in our bathroom. I'm just thinking, like, this is all too much. And we actually had an offer come in this week. We had
Mhm.
a real estate come and say somebody wants to build a childcare centre here because it's right next door to the school. And with that, there was a $200,000 to $300,000 over the market value that they would pay for our house. So
Mhm.
I'm not too sure what's going to happen yet, but you think, oh my God, I've got these things that I want to do. Where am I going to get the money from? And you just put it out there, and then, I've got this chance of this incredible offer. So I know things are coming to me, and you just don't know how it's going to happen, but it just happens. I
Indeed.
just
And you know
trust.
what? Thank you for sharing that, Kate, because you're in Australia, and recently one of my colleagues is also in the other side of the globe in the US and was just telling me practically the same thing about money, where she
Yeah,
feels that this is where the need is and the money's over there. So anyway, it's true what you said, and more the more I talk to people globally, and I talk to people, what's happening, how are you doing, how are you doing, practically everywhere, all over the world, every week, and I realize a collective pattern. Sometimes there's an abundance of manifestations, money wise, and sometimes there's just a feeling of overjoy for people for the good things they're experiencing in life. And there are also days like what's happening right now, and it's just very interesting because we both know, as people who believe in the laws of the universe, we know that there's no such thing as getting away with anything.
mm,
So whoever did that, uh, who was asking for $11 million, so did they get paid? They really got paid $11 million.
they did. They
Oh
did. They
my
got it
god.
in Bitcoin. That was so they could keep the company up and going.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, there'll be. I'm sure. I know it's being followed up. I don't know if I'm meant to be talking about it actually, but yeah, it's actually
Yeah,
no. It
but
was. It did hit the news. It did hit the news. I just didn't say where he was working.
yeah, but we both know that the laws of the universe are so faithful, and it will balance anything that it feels it needs to balance. So I'm very sure that even if some people, they think they might have gotten away with it, the universe will find a way to balance the situation. We
Mm.
know about the power of divine justice at work, especially if people will declare divine justice is doing its perfect work in this situation for everyone involved. And Kate and I also want that $11 million in cash.
Yes, thanks.
So anyway, Kate, I know
We
that
won
you
we won Lotto last night, $80.
awesome. So
Hey, every
anyway,
little bit helps.
yeah. So anyway, Kate, because like what you mentioned, every little bit helps, and especially here in the Philippines, I there's still a lot of people who are thinking, are these laws working? Are these laws of affirming what you desire really coming to pass? So, what's your take on it? What can you suggest to us as a simple manifesting practice?
Okay, I it's having gratitude and love for what it is that you already have. It is also believing that what it is that you want in your life, you already have too. So I was telling you last week, I like to do painting, and I've painted things that I would like to have in my life. And I've also got those things like my wagon and the dog, and just waiting for the peacock now. I want a real peacock. We're going to annoy all the
That's cute.
neighbours with their squawking peacock. But that talking about the peacock, now the reason why I like to talk about the peacock is years and years ago, I was reading, I think it was a Pam Grout book, E Squared, fabulous, fabulous book. And it's where science meets
Mhm.
psychic, and it's what you think about comes about. And I've run workshops on it. It was fabulous. Oh, sorry for that. And anyway, somewhere I read, you pick something, and because we walk around with tunnel vision, and we only see what we want to see, and we don't realize how much is actually out there. So we need to reprogram our brain to set it so we start thinking differently. And really easy exercises. The first one I continually do, and I'll do this one again for everyone, is in the next 48 hours. Now, this is her first experiment, Pam Grounds. In the first 48 hours, just know and trust that something really wonderful is going to happen for you, okay? You don't put a name on it. You don't say it's about cash or whatever, but a special surprise coming for you. You've got to put all skepticism aside and just believe that there is something special coming for you. Now, I love to do this all the time, and people know that I love peacocks. And what it
Mhm.
was about the peacock was I chose that as my thing, that whenever I see a peacock in any form, I know that I am on the right track and abundance is coming to me. Okay. So you may
Wow.
choose something else, but the peacock is my thing. I saw this wagon on Facebook, and it's got peacocks painted on the outside. It's like, that's mine. Not only is it the gypsy wagon, but it's got peacocks on it. And if you look around here, I'll sort of turn it around a bit. I've got here plaques on the wall that have been given to me. They have got peacocks on there. People know I love my peacocks. Over here, this one here, we've got all these beautiful feathers. Now, they were only given to me about 2 weeks ago from when I went up to Harvey Bay. And this was a really strange, funny, beautiful experience. And I was on the beach, and we had just got to Yeppoon. And I don't know if I talked about this last week or not, but there was an eagle's feather on the beach, and I picked it up, and it was really sandy, and it was about this long. And I went down to the water's edge and I watched this eagle's feather. Now I've got this, I do have a thing for eagles too, because I've just been listening to Wayne Dyer and about manifesting things with him and what it is that you really want. And one of the books that I read of his, he talked about this eagle that came and landed near him, and he knew from that point that life was going to be different. Life was going to be amazing. He didn't know why. He just knew from this eagle that came and landed to him. Anyway, this eagle feather When I was down the beach by myself, I was walking back to where we had the wagon. We'd only just arrived at Yeppoon, and we went there because it was a special memory for me as a child. We went there on holidays, and it's really important for me to remember the good times because there were so many sad times. So I try and remember the good times and live with that. So whenever I look back at the past, it's about something good. So I'm walking back to the caravan, and this lady says, "Oh, look at that feather that lady's just picked up. Isn't it beautiful? That's what I'm looking for." Because she, so I went over to her and I gave her this feather. And she said, "You sure?" And I said, "I am positive." I said, "You can have it." I said, "I actually collect peacock feathers. So um, I don't know what I'd do with this one when I got home anyway." So we got talking, and her husband they bumped into somebody else and they were talking to them. So I sort of didn't want to hold them up. But we did get talking, and from that, she asked, or I asked, what it was that they did, like occupation. And we are both spiritual people. We both run healing things and events, and um, got to say, talking about something, and I said that I'd just been to Harvey Bay, and she said, "Well, that's where I'm from." Anyway, long story short, only that morning that week had I been told about this lady, and I sent her an email asking if I would be able to rent space there to run a tea leaf reading workshop. Well, we are about 4 hours drive away from Harvey Bay, and this is the first person I bump into in Yeppoon. It's, I said, "I sent you an email this morning." Only this morning did I send you an email. What are the odds of something like that happening? Connections like that is just amazing. Spirit will lead you in the direction that you need to go. So I did go and run the workshop there 2 weeks ago, and she had that beautiful bunch of peacock feathers for me and gave one to each one of the people that came to the workshop, and it was amazing. And she's got the
Wow.
best energy there, really. I should actually get you in contact with her so you can interview her too. But Tracy, no, I can't remember her last name, but I'll put you onto her. Just the most beautiful person, and
Awesome.
incredible how we met. So, this is what you think about comes about. And it's just, when you follow those principles and you give gratitude for what it is that you do. And I do believe because we're out there and we are helping other people to I don't want to say sort of show them the light or show them the way, but to lead a more happy, positive, loving life,
Yes.
everything just falls into place. So yes, I might be behind at the moment, but I'm not particularly worried because I know it will come.
Yes. And something that I also want to share with you because a couple of years ago, I was really feeling that all areas of my life were practically shaking. It didn't really have any form of stability. And then I read this author, and she totally helped me out, you know, and her name is Dr. Catherine Ponder. Because I'm just happy that you brought it up because honestly, I've always been a reader myself, but it's so different when you actually feel that you have a game plan how to rise above whatever limitations that you have. Especially we're talking about the money, and money is a concern for a lot of people, including me. So that $11 million better be here.
and money and
So
money's
anyway,
not evil. Money's not evil either. It helps the world go round. It helps people. It feeds us. It keeps a roof over our head. Um, so we've all got this idea from our parents that money's evil. It's not. It's not.
skip.
Mm. And
Go ahead.
I want to show you something. Like, okay, So I've just received another bill in the post, okay? I haven't even opened it up yet. I've just received it. But
Mhm.
another thing that you can do too, so this would be retro for my car. I am so blessed to have this because my car gets me from A to B. And without the car, I wouldn't be able to do all the things that I do. So I'm actually so blessed that I've received this bill. It's not a, oh my God, what am I going to do? I hate bills. You've got to change your way of thinking. Okay. So I am really blessed because I have got a great car that takes me around in with my wagon wherever it is that I want to go and gets me out of the house every day. So I give gratitude to that.
And wow, it's such a beautiful thing that you mentioned because it's a perspective that we can definitely follow. That feeling grateful for the beauty of the service that this transport is giving you every day. It's such
Mm,
a beautiful thing to appreciate. And we know that what we appreciate grows in value. What we appreciate appreciates in what it can do for us. It can even be your lucky car because
yep.
of the way you perceive things, and perception, as we say in this show, creates your reality. And I love being in a grateful state of mind because being in that grateful state of mind creates more opportunities to make possibilities for you no matter how limited the situation is. So I know, Kate, with your many years of experience, you have so much to share. So please feel free to add.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm not too sure what I want to add there. I just these last few days have been really hard. So I'm glad to sort of be able to get on here. Now we're human. What do we call it? We're spirit living a human existence or whatever it is. And we have these trials that are thrown at us. And the last few weeks, like I said, it's been hard and I'm really exhausted and I'm tired. And we've also going into winter here now. Well, it is winter, and I have trouble getting out of bed because I suffer from depression. So I'm also the type I need to plan things every day because if I don't have anything planned, I have trouble getting out of bed. And I can usually pull myself out of that, but I have to admit, like it's been hard this week because I am so exhausted. But then I keep going and going and going. And this is me. I always keep busy. And when I did stop, I thought about it and I thought, no wonder I am tired. These last few weeks have been absolutely, absolutely huge. My mother-in-law had a operation and it was a brain on her brain. She had all her hair shaved off. And she'd been in hospital for 3 weeks. She only
Mhm.
got out this week. And it went fabulous too. She's doing really well. She's 80 and it really has helped. But there's been a whole lot of other things there too. And I just keep going day in, day out. And I try not to dwell on what it is that's happening, what's happened, what's coming up. Because when we start thinking about it too much, I just it does your head in and I just want to shut down and my brain does shut down and I just want to go to sleep. So it's really important for me that I keep busy because I know that's what gets me through is keeping busy, having a plan, and you know yeah, just having a plan for the day, what it is that you're going to do that makes it worthwhile to get out of bed. So I do still have my tough days. They are few and far between. They are, and I'm only human. So, we all have them. I just don't like to talk about them usually because it can lower your vibrations. You know, you listen to other people around and it's poor, poor me. And you need to be careful of being around people that are going to lower your vibrations too. So if you can go back to remembering things that are good and having a reason to get out of bed, you know, even if it's getting out and walking your dog, but just getting out into the sunshine is really going to help. Um, I hope that makes sense to a lot of people. I have a feeling, you know, people seem to think that, you know, I'm always happy and cheery and everything's going good in my life. And overall, it is. I do have bad days. I just usually do not reflect on them because I know I will get down if I do. And I don't want to go there. I want to live life to the fullest. I love life. You know, I love it where I am. Um,
Yeah.
so that's my purpose, I think, is to live a full, exciting life. Every so often though, the body just says, you've got to rest.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Kate. I want to give you a round of applause because, telling yourself that you're actually rising above the limitations, making a plan, because, like you mentioned, if you don't have a plan for the day, it's so easy to just curl up in bed all day.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy that you have that kind of mindset, Kate, because I myself, even if I'm self employed, I wake up early unless I have to teach a class or I'm writing something because when it's just quiet, it feels so good to be able to write a lot of ideas when no one's disturbing you. So anyway, I personally, for me, if I don't have to stay up late, I also like getting up early as 3 in the morning.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I
I'm a
just
night
really
owl.
but for me it helps me get a lot of things done because I have clients that work with me long term and I have clients that work with me for a short period of time. So I want to be able to get a lot of things done, especially squeeze in time for interviews like this. So, anyway, Kate, another thing that I want to ask you to expand some more, especially the idea of, being able to maybe use your energy wisely and then not uh, maybe put some people on quarantine mode because they're not really as positive as you and they might take your energy down, especially here you are, you're trying to focus more on well-being and alignment, and other people, because they're not aware, they tend to use narratives that actually create more problems than reverse the situation for them. How
Hmm.
important is that? Because in metaphysics, we know that it's very important, it's essential, but it's just information that's not available to everyone. So please explain why that is important and why people should continuously become mindful.
Okay. Um, I want to say that, like, okay, so for instance, the people that come and see me, I've got a protection around my work and I do cleansing and I ask my guides, my angels, whatever you want to call it, to protect me and make sure that I'm okay. And it's very rare indeed that somebody does pull my energies down. I try not to get too involved in people's problems because that's their own problem that they need to sort out. You know, you can suggest things, you can recommend things, but at the end of the day, it's up to them to sort themselves out. So I want to give you an example. I had someone that had been coming to me for quite a few years, and we became friends, and she asked for the friendship because she had no one else to go out with. And I'm more than happy to do that. I'm more than happy to go out and have a cuppa with someone or go to the movies or dinner. I'm more than happy to do that. And she was always a terrible, terrible life she had, and really sad. But she would dwell on it all the time, and it was really pulling my energies down. And I had to step back. because it was just constant. And she actually moved herself into my house with, like, asked in a way that I couldn't say no. And I thought, okay, because I like to help people, but in the end, it was too much. And it's okay to say no. It's okay to let those people go on their way if they are not willing to help themselves. I don't mind being there for someone, to talk to. But if you're not going to do anything about your problem and you're going to use your problem to have the people around you constantly, I'm not going to be there. And that might sound really selfish, but I've been sick before and I need to protect myself, and I'm never going back there again. My health is too important, and my husband and my family, for me to allow people to bring me down like that. Sometimes it can be a family situation, a family member, and you just need to
Yes.
back off, and it's okay.
Yes, Kate, I'm glad that you brought it up because, for example, I'm not sure if you're familiar with astrology, but my sign, astrological sign, we're really meant to be independent and we love
Oh,
learning
your
things.
voice has gone really funny.
Really? How about this?
No,
Hi, Kate.
yeah, there's something in the background. I'm not too sure what it is. I only hear it on your side.
Okay, let me try it again.
It's like you need to tone something down.
Hi, Kate. Is there,
Um,
because from my end, it sounds really good.
mm, it's not even an echoing. It's every time you speak, it's fuzzy and a piercing noise that's coming through.
All right. It's so funny because I told
Oh,
you
it's
about
good. That's good.
awesome. So anyway, thank you for sharing that because I told you that there's something going on,
With
and
your
that's why we
computer.
had, yeah. And I'm not sure if there's someone who's actually doing it. And I've been asking my friends to, pray prayers of protection for me because I'm learning how to become more technology savvy, and some people they just don't want to mind their own business. So, and then now we're talking about the topic on family. So, I think it's so important, Kate, that we're having this conversation because when it comes to our families, of course, there's just a natural instinct to want to please them, because you want to be balanced and harmonious with them. But there are times, of course, where pleasing them comes at the expense of sacrificing your identity and what matters to you. So, how do you now take care of that in such a way that it will become peaceful, balanced, and harmonious?
Oh, I let them know that I'm there for them to a certain extent, and I will listen to them. I did have to back away for a couple of years, not quite a couple of years, but just a situation that arose, and I sort of had to step back and just not talk to them. And that's what I'm saying. It's okay. They may be family, but it's okay to block, totally block. If you need to do that to protect yourself, it is okay. It's hard, but it's okay to do it.
Thank you for sharing that, Kate. It's such a beautiful thing to hear because, especially for LGBTQ people, the queer community, being vulnerable with family is just really more, uh, it's, it's prevalent for us because, number one, a lot of people from the queer community feel that because we're part of the LGBTQ or the queer community, then we should be happy that our family cares for us, and that sometimes it gets too much to the point where they feel that they have the right to actually step on certain things, because you know how most queer people feel that they have to compromise. In fact, one of my friends last week, who's a Peter as well, was saying, you know, the thing about the queer community, you feel that you always have to adjust. You have to adjust so that it will not cause friction in the community in whatever way, shape, or form that is. And at the same time, what happens is you don't know that emotionally you're actually depriving yourself of your true joy, but it also has to come to the place where you have to know that you're doing it because you also have to take care of your physical safety. Because a month ago something happened that was really really intense to someone, and that's why I'm bringing this up, because a lot of queer people in their families still feel that they have to compromise themselves in order to just maintain peace and quiet. But we know that it doesn't work out, because your silence is not coming from the silence run by your authentic self, but more because of the feeling of having to protect yourself. So inside,
Mm.
you feel some form of violence. What can you say about it, Kate?
Oh, ah, yeah, that can be really, that's a difficult one because it's like confrontation. And um, I don't like confronting people and sometimes talking about the way I feel. And, if something's hurting me, sometimes I might have a bit of a nervous giggle and people think I may think it's funny, but it's actually nerves and I don't know what to say. Everyone has got their own opinions on things and their own feelings. And, I wouldn't try not to judge people on, the way they are. But when it comes, okay, needing to stand up for yourself, I can stand up for myself when I need to. But if I feel, okay, so I had to say something last night, and I was put in a situation where I was doing a live Facebook time thing, and the phone turned around to this person that I just don't have time for. I don't want to talk to them. And don't get so I've putting me in a situation where um, that's shoved in my face. I did say something, and it's like, but you're hurting my feelings, and I don't want to talk about this now. And I'm like, well, no,
Yeah.
you just shoved something in my face which I'm not comfortable with, and we don't get along well with everyone. You can't expect us to like who you like. We're all different people, individuals. But this person had done something wrong, and it's um, I just don't want that person in my life, and it's as simple as that.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
sometimes we have to deal with these things, and you'll keep our mouth shut. It's hard.
Yeah, it's true, Kate. Especially we know that it's part of, for example, since both of us are doing uh, live work in terms of interviewing people or maybe broadcasting our content, and we just really want to create quality content. And there are some people, maybe they're just bored or something, because I don't know how else to call it. I mean,
Mm,
everybody wants to be as productive as possible, and then some people, they don't know where they're gonna put their time. They just want to do things to get your attention.
yeah.
So anyway, it reminds me of what Emily Cady said in her book. Everything is really full of love for you, even those pesky ones, the annoying ones. And she was saying that they're actually in need of love. That's why they're finding ways to irritate you so that you can pay attention to them and give them attention.
Yeah.
Uh, what do you think about it? Because obviously, like what
Oh,
you mentioned,
yes. And that's exactly what that. this situation is too. It's like, look at me, and wanting that intention, but going about it the wrong way. And but sometimes it's all they know how to do too. And to try and point that out can be very difficult, because it's like you're walking on eggshells, and you feel like you need to say something to, I don't know how to put this, because of the way you feel about it and the way it's affecting you. It's like you do have a right to say something, but it can be very hard too, because it's these type of people always turn it around, and it's like, um, it's always your fault. They won't take blame for anything. You need to look at both sides. There's, yeah, it's a hard one. It's a hard one. And talking about the community that you're in, um, I just feel everyone's an individual, and whatever sex that we want to be with, the person that we want to be with, well, that's your choice. And um, I've just met this wonderful person who is a male, but has just discovered that they've had female organs inside. Um, what do you call it? Yeah, ovaries in the scrotum, and
Mm-hmm.
they've got cysts on them. And this person is very much female too. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's more about the connecting with the person. It doesn't matter what sex they are. It's the connection that you have with them. It's the mind connection, isn't it?
Yeah. Kate, I'm so grateful that you talked about mind connection because for me personally, I came to a point where I wanted to talk to people where I felt that I had more elevated conversations. Like, there's a situation in your life, in whatever area that you feel is limited at the moment, but you talk to someone who understands spiritual evolution, or that we're constantly growing and expanding our perspective. And when you talk to someone who actually understands that something is actually expanding in you because you're a spiritually evolving being in a human body, then the conversations are so much different.
Oh yeah. And
And
it
this is,
doesn't matter what's on the outside, does it? It's what's on the inside.
yeah. And Kate, I was just looking at my phone because Dr. Rowe was saying that she was watching us. She also watched us last week. And she was saying, watching here from the Philippines. And, I was checking if there were people replying to us in YouTube because we're streaming in both Facebook and YouTube. So for those of you who are just tuning in, just feel free to send me and Kate a message. And I'm gonna meet Kate probably every Friday. I don't know how both our schedule will work, but going back to that elevated conversations and mind connection, because this is the part where most family members and friends and colleagues who refuse to do inner work, who refuse to grow and expand, somehow, if you are the type of person who wants to continuously grow and expand and learn some more, the conversations about limiting beliefs and why things are not going to work out and negativity, you just don't want to be around those people anymore because you know that when you have an idea, you pick it out from the universe, infinite mind, higher consciousness, and you actually want to execute the idea. In fact, one of my university professors was my guest this week, and then she said, we constantly doubt ourselves, but in truth, if you just give it a try, what if you had that idea and you actually had the capacity to do it? And maybe you're even the first one to actually do it. So Kate with the Destiny Tea Room and the Gypsy Caravan, those are original ideas. And for those two, I know that you've been running both for quite some time now. Where do you get the willpower to keep going? Because especially when there's no uh, when the wealth issue is actually coming from a place of change, like what's happening right now. There's a shift that's happening to you, and money is slow in coming, but we release that, we replace it that it's demonstrating fast and easy. How do you get the willpower to keep going?
Um, I see it happening for a reason, and probably because even whenever I have a reading done, the rest card always comes out. Or the hermit, it's about going within and learning more and standing still for a while, just being. Do you have to keep doing all the time? So this is their way of making me just be. I'm actually meant to be working on a book right now. I keep procrastinating, and we all do it, don't we? We've had this opportunity to spend some time on what it is that we really want to do, but we waste so much time. I get on Facebook. I love Facebook, and I can spend hours upon hours on there every day. Just before we got on here, I was listening to Wayne Dyer and some other person. I love Wayne Dyer. He's so gently spoken. He's not like your typical rah-rah Americans, which I do love too, because I love that uplifting energy. But he's just so gentle, and I just love listening to what he says. So do yourself a favor, everyone, and get on and listen to some of his stuff, because he is just so, the meanings behind it so profound when you listen to it. And he was saying he's not organized. He doesn't plan his days. And when he gets on and he does his events, he actually doesn't plan what he's going to say. It just comes out at the moment. So I'm a bit like that too. I wing it. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily have anything planned that I want to say and write things down, because you can find that it changes at the spur of the moment too. So I'm not one for planning too much, because I like to see what happens as well. So I might have bits and pieces that go on during the day, but I also like to see what is going to unfold from the day too. So going back to what's happening right now, I just think it's because it's a time when I'm just meant to stay at home. I've got the balls rolling, I've put everything out there. So now it's time to sort of sit back and see what happens, what eventuates. You don't want to keep going all the time, because you may be missing the signs as well. You just
Beautiful.
need to just to stop.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Kate. It's such a beautiful thing that you mentioned, because a lot of people get into the manifesting process. And for some people, because it's amazing that the Secret book actually came out and it was made into a movie, a lot of people think that, okay, I'm just going to think it and it's going to happen. But there's also the part where you have to actually do things, like write your
You've got
book,
to
get it
action it.
published, get it
Yeah.
published and actually sell it, and then people will pay you for it. So we know that particular thing. I think Rhonda actually wrote the book because she saw at that time that a lot of people were working so hard, but then
Mm.
their consciousness were out of alignment with their hard work.
And I
So
love The Magic too by Rhonda Bryan.
yeah, and it's amazing that we're talking about this, because another thing that I observed is this. When we are in the space where we know that our consciousness is set right already and we're getting excited about the vision, but sometimes you're not taking action, like what you mentioned earlier. You're supposed to be writing the book, But now we're in that space where you're just allowing yourself to just get into the rhythm of it and not force yourself to just write immediately. So anyway, with that particular place where you're allowing for things to unfold right now, why are you doing it? And how do you plan on going back into the momentum of writing?
Mm. I think it's about needing to schedule some time too and stop thinking about other things that need to be doing. We all get caught up with the normal everyday life things that we need to do. Like I have got a back room that everything just gets thrown in there now. It got way out of hand and it's more out of hand now. It's like, well, I need to set this room up first so I can declutter my mind, which is going to help. But then I'm in this space too, and I've just been tidying it up in here. And I think, you know what? I think it's going to have to be in here. I'm sitting in my gypsy wagon at the moment. I'm not in at the tea shop today. So this is quite a creative space in here. So I think I'm going to have to find more time to spend in the wagon and use this as my creative hub to write things too. So
Beautiful.
plan it, which
Yeah.
I'm not very good at doing.
Yes. While I'm listening to you, a friend of mine just sent me a text message and was reminding me about our event actually. And that event, which I call Harvest, I'm inviting thought leaders from around the world, book authors, and so my friend was reminding me to bring it up because like what you're doing right now in terms of writing your book, and we know that our common friend Sandy is also running another Facebook group for writers. are
Mm.
you are you part of Sandy's writers group?
No, I don't think I am. I've joined too many groups and I can't even remember what they all are. I went onto my page the other day to see how many groups I was in, and at the time there was over 600. I've got to go through and just cull it. And I don't use a lot of them.
Yeah. So anyway, that's great because my friend was just saying to bring it up right now because she was telling me, of course, you're a book author and you're also have a lot of unique and creative ideas to add to the event. So anyway, Kate, with that particular thing that you mentioned, you're gonna use the wagon to be in that creative mode, which actually reminds me of J.K. Rowling when she
Of
was
what?
writing J.K. Rowling.
Oh,
J.K.
you'll have to.
Rowling,
Oh, J.K. Rowling.
yes, for the Harry Potter book.
Oh,
So who
love
knows?
that show.
Yeah. I mean, you'll never know with that particular thing that you're writing about. It might actually be on that level of success for you as well.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. So you see, well,
Travel the world with it, and
yeah,
go out and do talks on stage, and yeah, I'd love that.
yeah, with the $11 million Bitcoin.
And then I can take, yeah, with $11 million Bitcoin, then I can take my wagon on the plane with me and,
Yeah.
and travel around.
Yeah. And anyway, since we're talking about $11 million, what is it that you're gonna do with $11 million aside from bringing the wagon on a plane while you're traveling around the world?
What would I do? Oh, um, I would have my place up at Montville Mullaney where
Mm.
other people can come to and have like a retreat there. So, sort of on a bigger scale of what I'm already doing. And um, and I just want to travel. I just want to get out there and travel. And I don't think it really matters how much I've got. So long as I can get out there and I can travel and promote my book, that's what I want to do. And have my husband by my side so he doesn't have to, be in the job that he's in now, which he does enjoy sometimes. But we would love just to be out on the road.
Yeah, I love your idea, and I know for a lot of creative people, they just don't want the routine. They like the deliciousness of having one new thing after another. So yeah, why not? Especially, it's
Yeah, and
interesting
like
that
just being able to buy whatever it is that you want when you're out there. I'm a
yeah,
bargain hunter. My husband will tell you, even if we had the money, I love a bargain. And, you know, I I don't know what it is, but you can go out and so many times I get given things for nothing. And oh, talking about peacocks and my collections, yesterday in the mail, I've got my little package here. I get this little package from
hmm,
one of my um, followers, friends,
hmm,
and she was going through and cleaning up her stuff. And I get this
yeah,
beautiful scarf, which has got peacocks on it.
wow,
I think, with what it is that we do, um, I just think so long, I just want to be comfortable. I am comfortable. I'd like a little bit more. Um, and maybe that offer with the people buying this place and putting a preschool here, I get to get my townhouse, and then we've not got a yard to look after because I'd prefer that because we're a bit lazy. We'd rather be out in the car exploring things and meeting new people.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't think I'm too far off my dream already. So I don't need that much.
yeah, that's fantastic.
I'd said, I do all the normal things like set my kids up, buy them all a house, and
Wow,
you know, make life comfortable for them, and even set up like some type of community type thing where people can come and do their things if they haven't got the money to do it. You've also got that special funding there where they can come and learn what it is that they want to do too.
yeah, such a beautiful thing. Especially, I'm like the patron saint for people doing what they love to do.
Mm,
Because I really do encourage people to do what they love to do and, study more of whatever it is that's going to improve their game, whatever choice of industry they want to excel. Because I think one of the things that keeps you elevated, Kate, is you're in the space where you're already living your passion and not a
mm.
lot of people get to do it. And I
Well,
think one of
that's the main thing that I want to show people what they can do. You can live your passion. You don't need to have a fortune to do it. It's just that mindset. It's changing the way you think. And it doesn't matter what type of work it is. I used to do cleaning as a living. That was hard work because I used to think I'd be too by myself too much, thinking too much. I didn't like that. But I know another lady that works in a mental ward, and she does the cleaning there, and she loves her work because she's very funny and she loves telling jokes and making people smile.
Mhm.
And that's all she needs, you know, is just to make someone smile. It doesn't matter what way we do it. If that's what your purpose is, to help another human being, um, the the work side of things is just, I don't know. I don't know how to put that. It's a bonus. I don't know. We've all
Anyway,
got our own thing to do, if that makes sense. I think
and
I
it's
got a
such
little
a
bit lost there.
yeah, I love what you just mentioned because many times we feel that there are things in our lives that's not working out and we think our passions are so expensive to pursue. But personally, for me, way back, I always wanted to write a book and I've always wanted to write a book and publish it, but I wasn't able to do it until recently, last March, when I was in the right group of people where people sincerely wanted me to be happy as well and to help me as well. So I think with the right group of friends, you can definitely live out your dream. And it's true what you mentioned. You don't have to have enormous amount of money to live your dream. Because when I decided to support a lot of people, apprentice for some teachers voluntarily, then a lot of the things that I wanted to do, I was able to do it. So, dear Kate, I'm so happy and grateful that we had another afternoon talking about you, your work, and what's happening in your life right now, the Destiny Tea Room and the Gypsy Caravan. So, what's a perspective that you want to leave with me and the rest of the viewers for the second time you guested on the show?
Again, I think the message there last week was keep it simple. You don't need to make life difficult. I had a young fellow in here yesterday. He's only 23 years old and has got schizophrenia and wants to know what his life purpose is. And I just said, live for the moment. Enjoy today. You don't need to know what you're going to be doing in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years for now. Live today and enjoy today, because if you are doing that and you're open to the opportunities that are around you, you never know where your life is going to take you. When I was 20, I wouldn't have imagined like sitting in here in my wagon talking to you in the Philippines and it going on air all around the world. We just don't know. So just enjoy today.
Thank you for that, Kate. It's such a beautiful message. And I trust that we can catch up again and maybe grow our room in the Spirit Connections Cafe. So thank you, Kate, and have fun.
Oh, thank you. And just before we go,
Uh
I've
huh.
got my tea here, which I've poured, and on the
Mm-hmm.
top are lots and lots of bubbles. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to do a tea leaf reading today, but it's full of bubbles, which is about money, and none of them are bursting. So this is a really good sign. So I'm going to share that with everybody.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you,
All
Kate,
right.
and have fun.
Thanks very much for having me again, Reg. It's been wonderful talking to you.
Yeah, likewise. So, Satnam, everyone, thank you for joining me and my new friend Kate for another afternoon of conversations about the Destiny Tea Room and her work. So, anyway, I trust to have you again tomorrow. I'm gonna have my friend EY, who is a rock artist, and she's gonna play for us in celebration of Pride Month. So one thing that I picked up from Kate today is that you really have to set your mindset right, because even if you're in the middle of something that can intimidate your peace of mind, but if you know what you're going to do, you have the right narrative and you're taking all the steps necessary to move the situation forward, all you have to do is to trust. And it would be nice to have Kate again next week, and let's see what happened to her and all the things that she's been projecting positively. So thank you, everyone. Remember to put things in perspective, because your perspective shapes your reality. Satnam, everyone, and have fun.